A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A plus English because it's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A plus way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A plus English.
Hello everyone, welcome to A Plus English. I'm Mike.
I'm Chickling.
And we are back. We are still in the night market, just like we were yesterday. Well, we're not, but our minds are.
Right.
And the topic of our article is definitely in the night market because we're trying wonderful street foods and we are also learning about their very interesting stories, filling my stomach and filling my brain at the same time. My stomach with delicious food, my brain with wonderful knowledge. This is good stuff to know for people who live here. And of course, if you're ever entertaining someone from outside of the country, they would love to try, I think, all 4 of the foods that we're talking about. I'm making sure that they're not a vegetarian or something like that. But if they eat meat, they definitely would want to try the braised pork rice. If they're a little bit brave, they might try the oyster omelet and also the 2 foods we will be learning about today. So, what are your favorite Taiwanese street foods?
Scallion pancakes.
Ooh, that's another good one. Maybe you can tell people the Chinese name for that one.
是那个葱抓饼.
Yes, that is another
I
good
like
one.
tuna in them.
Do you like that any time of the day, or do you eat it for kind of breakfast, as some people do?
I usually have it just as a snack.
As a snack. Okay, that's a very, very good one. Let's see. Well, my 2 favorite are kind of on the list.
Stinky tofu?
For today. Ooh, that's another good one. We didn't put that on in our article.
I'm so surprised you like
it. But I do like stinky. I like the fried, the little golden cubes.
Not the steamed one.
Not the steamed one. That's a little too stinky for me. One that I haven't had, and I keep saying, I gotta go, the big G pie. You know, the big,
God,
the
you
big
haven't
chicken.
tried it yet?
No, I just, in years. It's been like 5 years or more than that. I just haven't had it. So I like that, but I just never get the chance to go out and eat it. But that's probably better for my body anyways. But those are also very famous and I think also very popular with visitors. Stinky tofu's one maybe to be a little careful of.
Right.
Some brave people will try it. Some people might not. I would encourage you to get people to try it. Not the boiled kind, not the steamed kind.
The fried kind.
The fried kind, yeah. But some people, don't push too hard because they might be a little scared. But I think if you eat cheese, then stinky tofu's not too different, right? Like stinky cheese and stinky tofu. All right, let's get to our article and find out which 2 street foods we will be learning about and maybe enjoying today.
Dig in. The history of Taiwanese street food. Warm-up question. What are your favorite Taiwanese street foods?
Beef noodles. In 1949, many people from China moved to Taiwan. They brought different ways of cooking beef from their hometowns. In the 1950s, Taiwan received help from the U.S. This included foods like canned beef and flour. People started making beef noodles with these ingredients.
Today we are looking at 2 new street foods. We're going to learn their stories. And why not start off today's article with probably the big daddy of all the street foods, one of the most famous ones, one of the ones that almost everyone who comes here wants to enjoy. I am talking about the mighty beef noodles or beef noodle soup, as it is sometimes called, also known as...
牛肉面.
There you go. Very, very famous, very, very popular. And lots of people will travel all the way here just to try the best bowl that they can find. But where did this wonderful food come from? It says in 1949, many people from China moved to Taiwan. Yes, we learned about this yesterday when we were talking about braised pork, right? 卤肉饭. Also, around the same time, the end of the Civil War in China, all those Kuomintang soldiers and people from the ROC government, they moved over here. They brought their families, their stuff, whatever, but they also brought their cooking. It says they brought different ways of cooking beef from their hometowns.
Okay, 所以牛肉面呢 that's actually one of my favorites too.
Absolutely. One of the absolute best.
Especially with spicy sauce in it.
Oh, yeah, the spicy sauce or those mustard greens. I like to put that little green vegetable in there. Ooh, that's really good. Especially on a cold day. There's nothing better than a hot bowl of beef noodle soup. All right, so in the article, we also learned that in the 1950s, so just soon after all these people arrived in Taiwan from China, in the 1950s, Taiwan received help from the U.S. Of course, the U.S. has always been on Taiwan or the ROC side, against China. And back then, they had all these people. They needed food. They also needed protection from the Chinese army. And so they were getting help from the U.S. This included foods like canned beef and flour, kind of American-style foods that a lot of people here didn't eat very frequently, but the U.S. just sent it over in large amounts. So there was all this canned beef and flour. So the clever Taiwanese people, or maybe more accurately, the clever Taiwanese chefs, it says people started making beef noodles with these ingredients. Because, of course, you can't make flour into rice, and you can't make canned beef into Sai. That won't work. So you got to find something else to do with it. So they got creative and they came up with beef noodle soup, I guess.
原来是这样。所以1950年代呢，台湾从美国获得了援助，援助包含有 canned beef， 就是罐头的牛肉跟面粉，然后他们就开始用这些食材制作牛肉面。
Now it says beef noodles are a popular dish in Taiwan. If you had to add one new ingredient to beef noodles, what would it be and why?
Cilantro. Or some herbs.
That's a good idea.
Or some Italian seasoning.
Some basil, some cilantro. That would be a little bit more like Vietnamese pho, which is sort of their beef noodle soup, right? Too. I was actually thinking along the same lines when I get the Vietnamese pho, their noodle soup. I always like those little meatballs. And you don't usually see meatballs in beef noodle soup. So that's a simple thing. Just toss in a couple of meatballs. And that might be good too. Maybe you guys can come up with your own clever ideas.
Basil 就是罗勒，然后 cilantro 就是香菜。
Some people don't like that though. Right?
Yeah, they think they taste soapy.
It's true.
It tastes soapy.
Yeah.
Guabao. Guabao first came from Quanzhou, China. When people from there moved to Taiwan, they made it easier to carry and eat. Its shape looks like a full wallet, which is considered to bring fortune. So bosses often treat their workers to guabao at year-end banquets. All these street foods carry pieces of Taiwan's history. Each bite tells a story about Taiwan's food culture.
And actually, that story about American food coming here and becoming beef noodles, I think in Korea, right, budae-jjigae, that big kind of soup that they have. Yeah, that big soup. That's got Spam, which is American canned ham, and they put American cheese, like hamburger cheese. So very similar. After the Korean War, people didn't have a lot of food. The U.S. government brought in food, and people got very creative and made up new dishes that are very popular today. That is kind of cool. All right, let's move on to our fourth and final street food. And this kind of, for me, this fights for the number one spot. We got Nyoromian on one hand, and we've got guabao on the other hand. I like a good guabao.
Yeah.
Those are very delicious too, and also very popular street foods. And also, I think, something that many foreign visitors and tourists would absolutely enjoy. So if you do have guests, do take them to a good guabao place. Now, where did these come from? It says guabao first came from Quanzhou in China. Am I saying that right?
Oh, yes, Quanzhou.
Okay. When people from there moved to Taiwan, they made it easier to carry and eat.
Oh,
Interesting.
guabao. Wow, it's kind of like an American-Canadian burger.
It's kind of like a burger.
Yeah, sandwich.
It's similar. It's similar. I
Okay.
mean, it's bread wrapped around meat. And of course, there are many versions of that. We can also compare it to a taco or a souvlaki or something from Greece, right? But yes, it is very, very useful. And because, of course, you can eat it with your hands. You can walk around and eat it or something like that.
所以挂包最早来自于中国的泉州，人们移居台湾的时候呢，就把它改良，它就变得比较容易携带跟食用，它 so handy.
It is very handy. And of course, it is sort of like a sandwich. It says its shape looks like a full wallet, which is considered to bring fortune. Okay, it's kind of like that. It's got all that stuff shoved in the side, kind of like you've got all your money put inside your wallet.
Yeah.
I can see that. So that's considered to bring fortune. In other words, it's a lucky food that you might eat when you feel you'd like some extra luck at making money. So it says bosses often treat their workers to guabao at year-end banquets.
Oh,
I did not know that.
OK， 所以它的形状长得像钱包，所以象征可以带来财运。在东方就有很多这样子的那个迷信嘛，所以呢，老板呢常常在尾牙会请员工吃挂包。
Now, all these street foods, the ones we learned about today and yesterday, all these street foods carry pieces of Taiwan's history. Each bite tells a story about Taiwan's food culture. So not only can you enjoy this delicious food, you can also learn about Taiwan's history and culture while doing it. That sounds like a win-win situation.
所以呢，这些街头小吃呢，承载了台湾的历史，每一口都讲述着台湾饮食文化的故事。Actually, I kind of want to change my favorite to guabao now.
Really?
I'm really in the mood for one.
Yeah, they're also a little bit harder to find. I find there's not as many guabao restaurants as there are Nyoro Mian, or I don't know. I think they're fantastic.
No.
And that kind of leads us to our next question. If you were going to make your own version of guabao, what ingredients would you make it? Would you add to it?
I would make a vegetarian version.
Oh, that's a good idea.
With grilled mushrooms, tofu, and my favorite, spicy peanut butter sauce.
Ooh, that would be
Sounds
really good.
amazing,
That
right?
does sound good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I might do one with like fried chicken.
Oh
I think
my
that would be
goodness.
good. Having something crunchy in there would be nice, right? You got the soft bread and you got the crunchy fried chicken.
I'm hungry.
I think that could be really good. And actually, that's a good question. We said there's not that many guabao restaurants.
Right.
If you go overseas, like in New York and Paris, and they have all these guabao places with very interesting ingredients. You can get fish in them, but they don't have those here.
True.
And I always wondered why.
Maybe we should open a restaurant that
I don't know if I want to open. I want you guys to open it, and then I'll come and I'll be your best customer.
True.
I'm too busy and too tired. All right, let's get back to her teaching, and then we'll be back to play our little wrap-up game. I'm going to get a guabao.
Hometown 就是家乡、故乡的意思，所以回到家乡，我们刚刚说士兵回去，我们就说 return。那我们这边回到家 to return to someone's hometown. After years of living abroad, she decided to return to her hometown to reconnect with her roots. 她回到她来自的地方，就觉得很有回到自己的根。那我们来看一下课文例句。Nicole moved abroad 3 years ago and finally went back to her hometown. Nicole 在3年前搬到了国外，现在就回到了她的故乡了。那我们看到另外一个字是 receive， 这是动词，有收到的意思。所以人家送礼物给你，你就可以 receive a gift。寄讯息给你，你可以 receive a message。比如说 He didn't receive the email until the next day。那我们看另外一个例句。Michelle received many gifts from her friends and family on her birthday. Michelle 在生日的时候收到很多来自于朋友跟家人的礼物。那我们今天都在讲食物嘛 ，bite 这个字在文章中是当名词，有一口的意思，所以咬一口就是 to take a bite of something. She took a bite of the chocolate cake and smiled. 当然，这个字当动词也是可以，就是咬也的意思。比如说，你被蚊子咬也是这一个字。He got bitten by a mosquito while hiking in the woods. 他在那个远足的时候被蚊子叮的意思。那我们看另外一个句子 ：The dumpling was too hot, so Paul waited before he took a bite. 水饺太烫了，所以 Paul 就等了一会儿才去咬它。那最后的单字呢是 culture， 它是文化的意思。我们常常会说你要去学习不一样的文化，我们就可以说 learn about different cultures。比如说 traveling to a new country allows me to learn about different cultures。那尊重文化差异，我们就是 respect cultural differences。 It's important to respect cultural differences when living abroad. 你住在国外，你要好好去尊重别人的文化。那我们再看另外一个句子。Billy went to a foreign country and enjoyed the different culture there. Billy 出国，然后在那边享受了不一样的文化。那我们今天的 Magic Box 也有看到什么东西 is considered to be something， 或者是 is considered 加上一个名词，它就是说某件事情、某个人被认为具有什么特质、状态，或者被赋予某种评价的句型。所以呢，通常就是对某事啊、某人、某情况的看法或判断。那我们可以用 be 动词嘛，所以 be 有 am, is, are, was, were。那 consider 是过去分时，表示被认为哦。比如说 she is considered to be the best player on the team, or the movie is considered to be a classic。那我们再看另外一个句子 he is considered to have a great sense of humor。好，这是所有今天我们的单字 Don't forget to practice. Right now, let's go to our review time activity.
Review time.
All right, yes, we have a little bit of time to review things. So let's do that. We're going to look at our words as we usually do. Before we say goodbye, those words, just to remind you one more time, were hometown, receive, bite, and culture. What's the matter? You seem unhappy.
I'm happy.
You're happy? Okay. Okay, we're going to play a game of synonyms.
Sorry, I kind of zoned out.
That's okay. You're thinking about guabao.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's why. You're getting hungry. It's getting close to lunch, and we're both thinking about guabao. But that's okay. We're going to play a quick game of synonyms. We're going to start very simple. To get.
Okay. To get, to get a guabao, but to receive a guabao.
To receive a guabao is to get a guabao. Very, very good. Traditions. I could say. Beliefs. I could say.
Where you come from.
Where you come from.
Culture.
Culture, yes. The culture is actually a really big word that covers lots of things, but traditions and beliefs, religion, language, all of that kind of stuff. Birthplace.
Birthplace.
You could maybe say. Yeah.
Where you? Hometown.
Hometown. I mean, it could be where you live, but it's often where you're born as well. And chomp.
Okay, bite.
A bite. A chomp is like a big bite. I'm going to take a chomp of this. I chomped on my guabao because I was so hungry. There you go. Let's do this and then we're done. We're out of here.
Okay. Yes. 所以大家还喜欢今天的内容吗？如果喜欢的话，记得按赞、订阅、开启小铃铛，我们的 YouTube 频道就不会错过任何精彩的挂包啦、内容啦。拜拜。
Bye bye. Take care.